Welcome to the Uncommon Transformation television series.
Akwa Ibom State, with the sobriquet Land of Promise, is truly a land with enormous promise and potentials. With a population of more than 4 million fascinating people, the state is located in the oil-rich Niger Delta region, often regarded as the nation's haven of wealth. The state has a long coastline of 129 kilometers and is a habitat for a wide range of fishes and seafoods. There are large reserves of oil and gas, both on and offshore, as well as other mineral resources such as limestone, clay, gold, salt, coal, silver nitrate, and glass sand, which also exists in commercial quantity. It is host to several national and multinational firms like Mobil Producing Nigeria Unlimited, a subsidiary of ExxonMobil, Aluminium Smelter Company of Nigeria Russell Ascon, Champion Breweries, among others. The land is arable and suitable for year-round cultivation of a number of cash crops including oil palm, rubber, cocoa, kola nuts, maize, pineapple, malina, among others. The hospitable disposition of its population is a national reference point, just as her salivating cuisines, exotic culture, arts and crafts have continued to receive worldwide acclaim. It is on the strength of these potentials that Governor Godswill Akpabio led the Akwa Ibom State delegation comprising members of the National and State Assembly, other members of the State Executive Council, bureaucrats and technocrats, as well as major stakeholders in the organized private sector to attend the second South-South Economic Summit at Asaba, the Delta State capital, from April 25th to 28th, 2012.
For the South-South Economic Summit, we are hoping that the investors who would like to do good business in Nigeria will take advantage of the South-South Economic Summit to come down to do what I may call casing the joint, moving around to look at areas of interest. And I think one of the most interesting areas for investment in the country today is Akwa Ibom State, the state of the land of the people of promise, let's put it that way. The only state in the country that is named after God. And because the full name of Akwa Ibom means Akwa Abasibom State, which means the Almighty God State. We have a lot of opportunities for investment. First, in the area of aviation. We are building a maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility at our airport. And as of now in this country today, the only state-owned airport is the Akwa Ibom International Airport. Started by my predecessor in office, but completed during my tenure. I made less than 10% of the job on the ground, and then we've raised it to the level where the first phase has been completed. Last year alone, we had over 7,790 flights in and out of the airport, and we carried over 403,000 passengers. It has turned out to be the fastest growing local airport in Nigeria. And we also used the airport to convert pilgrims to the Holy Land, Israel, and also to Egypt. And then some people have also traveled from there all the way to Rome. And as I speak now, the maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility has reached over 75% in terms of completion. We need to equip it now. And so we are looking for investors. We need technical experts. We need people who can come in and run that place. And I need to let you know that this is the first such construction, such edifice in the whole of West Africa. There is none so far. At least I don't know of any West African country that has a maintenance, repair, and overhaul facility at its airport. There is none. And so this is the first one. Our belief is that if we have a very good company coming to handle it, it means that most of the monies that we spend outside will be checked. And of course, that will check capital flights. And most of our airlines will also have the opportunity to do small checks. You don't have to fly to France, to go to United Kingdom, to go to other places, Germany, just to go and change maybe tires or to look at the fuselage or whatever, undercarriage or anything in the plane. So this is a great opportunity. And at the same time, we are trying to develop a cargo hub for the whole of the Gulf of Guinea. And so that airport is strategic. So we need partners in that direction, talking aviation. And so if we can have a cargo group coming in to partner with us, the airport has one of the longest runways in the country. Over, as I speak now, over 3.6 kilometers, and it's wide enough for even A380 plane to land. The MRO is made for 747 planes and all that. So really, that's another area.
The second South-South Economic Summit, organized on the broad theme, integrating the South-South for sustainable development, with special emphasis on development, investment, and security, was held at the Convention Center, Asaba, Delta State, under the auspices of the Braced States, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Edo, and Delta. The three-day summit was declared open on April 26 by Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, represented by Vice President Architect Nemadi Sambo, GCON.
I would like to start by extending the sincere greetings and felicitations of His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Federal Republic, who has directed me to extend his sincere greetings and felicitations on this important occasion. My commendation also goes to the Braced Commission for the evident committed efforts that have gone into making the second South-South Summit the impressive reality we are witnessing today. My vision for the South-South, and indeed Nigeria, is for us to develop an economy that should be sustainable without oil. It is a fact that the world oil reserve has limitations, and therefore becomes absolutely necessary that we use our present opportunities to create economies devoid of oil for our future.
The keynote speaker at the summit was President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, represented by Mr. John Gara, while the coordinating Minister of the Economy and Minister of Finance, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, spoke on efforts by the federal government to strengthen the economy.
These are some of the things we need to build a buffer. We need to diversify our economy. We also need to patronize our own products. And this will be my last word. Those who are saying that we should safeguard our industries are right. But there are certain things that Nigerians themselves must also do. If we produce products within this economy, we must what? We must buy them. We must buy the... How many of you are wearing clothes that are made here in Nigeria? How many? If I look around the room, I see that almost everybody, people are dressed in suits, dresses. I want all those who are wearing something Nigerian to stand up. Governor Mechi, you're in a suit, so you don't qualify. Give yourselves a round of applause. Yes. Yeah.
The main objective of the summit was to showcase the rich investment potentials of the South-South region of the country, thereby attracting new investors as well as servicing external investments. For Akwa Ibom State, it was a unique opportunity to showcase her limitless opportunities and huge economic endowments to potential investors. Governor Akpabio clearly showed how he has evolved strategies to prepare Akwa Ibom State to assume pole position in the economic hub of the Gulf of Guinea, especially by effectively tackling decayed infrastructure which had bedeviled the state since creation.
In preparation for investment in Akwa Ibom, I have turned around the state in terms of road infrastructure. And I was just looking at the Nobel laureate. I want to invite him to Akwa Ibom because you have at least a small model for you to talk internationally. When you are talking outside, you tell them that all is not lost. Come to Akwa Ibom State in Nigeria and see what is happening. All is not lost for this country. You know, because I came into government and I was like you. I approached development with anger. I felt that Nigeria should not be where we found ourselves. What legacy are we going to leave for our children? So we have a small state that we can use as a model. When you are speaking internationally, stand somewhere and hit your chest and then tell them that the infrastructure is prepared already by the current administration, that under 5 years, over 260 roads have been done. No discrimination between federal and state roads. We have dualized federal highway. We have built the best international airport as of today with the best lighting system, the best equipment that anybody can think of. As I speak now, I'm expanding the airport to carry over 20 planes. I've given a contract for a major international terminal that has eluded Nigeria. There is no major one in the country. I'm very impressed with what Delta is doing, but I've improved upon that. And in 15 months from today, you have an international terminal that you can boast of, that with singers that can carry up to 14 planes. So it's not really about my state, but since it's about investment, I just wanted to mention the fact that the ground is prepared for it. In terms of security, we are working very hard. Security is still something that is controlled by the federal government.
Akpabio equally revealed his human capacity development programs in the state to meet the manpower challenges of the emerging industrial economy of the state, some of which are the free and compulsory education for all youths and the specialized training program for youths to meet the beckoning opportunities in the state aviation sector.
Educationally, we have also prepared our people. I have 241 Akwa Ibom children today studying aviation, avionics and all that in various places all over the world, from Canada to the United States of America. Education is the key issue in my state. And many of you, of course, most of you are not from Niger Delta, who know that within the Niger Delta, my state used to be an industry for houseboys and house helps. And so I decided to tackle that issue. I declared free and compulsory education up to senior secondary school level. And I revamped in totality dilapidated infrastructure I found on ground. So today, I did not declare it only for Akwa Ibom children, no cheats. The free education in Akwa Ibom is for all Nigerian children resident in Akwa Ibom State. Because I believe we can use education to fight the insecurity in the country today. And I tell my people, don't mind the extra expenditure. If you develop your children educationally, and you don't educate your neighbors, you are preparing armed robbers to attack your graduate children. So today I have over 1.39 million children in the primary school alone. So we are ready for any set of investment that you may wish to bring to Akwa Ibom.
The Vice President, Architect Namadi Sambo, at the event commended Akpabio's giant strides in infrastructural development, as well as in the aviation sector.
In Akwa Ibom State, the first large service center for aircrafts in Africa is being built in this place. Road development, education, healthcare facilities. For the transformation of this zone and Nigeria in general, I can confidently today say that yes, we can.
Renowned Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka, on his part, said he is impressed with Governor Akpabio's education scheme, adding that Akpabio has set a standard, sending over 200 Akwa Ibom indigents on training abroad on such courses as piloting, avionics, firefighting, air ticketing, and other aviation-related fields in order to have a ready homegrown manpower to run the airport on completion.
I was very delighted to listen to Dr. Akpabio and his training program, especially in terms of aviation. It's the first time I've heard about a horde of people, over 200, being sent abroad to get trained in various aspects of aviation science and technology in preparation for a mammoth project going on. Usually it's one thing or the other. You build out for training, and as somebody remarked, when they come this sensibility towards both the means at the end, which has been very, very rare within this nation, in a very structured way that is not piecemeal, is something which I think deserves to be explored even further. I'm taking up this challenge to come and see if he was just boasting here. I've agreed I'll go there and actually see for myself. I've accepted the invitation, and this is something I look forward very much to.
Speaking on the importance of security as catalyst for true development, Governor Akpabio, who was a panelist during a session on security and national development at the event, advocated a restructuring of the nation's security system and the unbundling of responsibilities of the federal government to enable states and local governments have more capacity to handle their functions.
The situation as we have now, we have structural defects. Structural defects in the sense that the federal government has too much responsibilities. So many agencies, over 486 of them. You have agencies that deal with toilets from UBE. You have agencies that do solar borehole. You have agencies that do pothole through FEMA. You have agencies that are supposed to tar road. You have all sorts of organizations, and yet the federal government is taking on so much and cannot even provide up to 10% successfully in most of those places. The beginning with this administration of President Jonathan will be to unbundle the weight of the federal government and try to give more duties to the states and the local governments, and then focus more on providing security for the country. Because my opinion is that since it is not the job of the local government to go and import APCs, armored personnel carriers, and then we don't control the army, we don't control the apparatus that provides security, the federal government should focus more on security. These small aspects of development and creating jobs could now be, decentralized and given to the states and the local governments. And that also comes with the issue of readjustment of the revenue formula. If we continue to make the federal government too attractive for people to struggle and go in there, then we'll have the same malaise that we have had in the last 50 years. The reaction in terms of some of the regions, in my opinion, are just reactions of poor leadership and not caused by the present administration.
This position was later adopted by the summit as contained in a 13-point communique at the end of the conference. The communique called for a review of the revenue allocation formula to give more powers, responsibilities, and funding to the states and local governments as centers of growth. The South-South governors at the summit also called for a review of the current policies and regulations on power and gas to enable the states generate, transmit, and distribute power to complement the efforts of the federal government and facilitate the utilization of moribund capacity in the region to promote and accelerate economic development in the South-South region. This itself situates well with Akwa Ibom, where the Akpabio administration is investing heavily in the area of power as a pivot of any economic venture. Chief Akpabio has embarked on the construction of a 57-kilometer gas pipeline to evacuate gas to the state-owned independent power project at Ikorabasi. In December 2009, the state-owned Ibom Power Company began evacuating power from its multi-billion naira plant to PHCN's distribution facilities, raising the prospect of uninterrupted power supply in the state.
The power sector now, yes, it's a federal government thing at the moment, but we are pleading for deregulation. And if it's totally deregulated, it means the three segments of power, the generation, the transmission, and the distribution. We are vying for licenses. As of now, we have a license for generation. We have finished our independent power plant in one of our local governments, and we are producing 191 megawatts right now. We want to expand it to over 680 megawatts. So we need investors in that direction.
It could be seen clearly from the foregoing that the Akpabio administration is leaving no stone unturned in its quest to reposition the state and take it to an enviable height where its potentials are utilized for the general good of the people. Hence, the Ibom Industrial City, an adventurous mega-industrial conglomerate, has been conceptualized in the Baka area of the state with a deep sea port and a refinery top on the bill.
We have a very robust plan to develop an industrial city in a place we call Ibaka. And as you know the Nigerian story, Nigeria is a country where industries were sited nearest to where the ministers came from, not necessarily on the basis of economic viability. And so we may have one or two ports that were built by the federal government, which may not be very viable. But right in Ibaka, in Akwa Ibom State, you have a shoreline and a natural seaport for a deep seaport of about 15 to 17 meters of drought without dredging. It was recommended for a port in 1963. But you know, being a minority area, there was nobody to push it. The Nigerian Port Authority now is trying to work with me to convince the current federal government of the need to establish a deep sea port in that place. And if the private sector is interested, that can complement the effort of Lagos. We have over 130 ships in Lagos, sometimes attempting to berth, and sometimes carrying pharmaceuticals that will expire inside the ship before they get to the public because of space. Nigeria is not an attractive destination for shippers. And I think this is one period that we must drop sentiment and then go into investment in areas that will help the country. We are looking at over 50,000 employment in that sector if it becomes possible. I thank the president because just 2 weeks ago, he granted a license for a free trade zone for that area. I have facilitated the area. I brought in international consultants from England, Wally Parsons. I've acquired over 14,000 hectares of land so we can have an ammonia plant, we can have fertilizer plant, we can have a deep sea port, we can have a refinery that has eluded Nigeria for so many years, workable.
In the next 6 months, we are going to have what we call the detailed engineering studies for the deep sea port. And then you start to have the breakwaters. And once we have the breakwaters, the investors will now be ready to come in, with their own money to invest on the deep sea port. And this is one deep sea port that is so located naturally, with the south of the Sahara, where we have the Sao Tome, Guinea, Angola, and all of those. Cameroon is just overseeing. And what are we blessed with? A drought.
Akwa Ibom State is equally taking advantage of its peaceful disposition to promote tourism, celebrated the world over as the highest employer of labor, with the establishment of a world-class leisure and business center, the Ibom Tropicana Entertainment Center. Indeed, other participants from the state were resolute on the benefits derived from the economic summit.
But our governor was able to speak on the thing that he has done, that will attract the people to that. The thing that he has done for the state, the thing that the development he has brought to the state, the potentials in terms of the deep sea port, the potentials in terms of education, the potentials of the state, and what he's doing in getting the children of other states educated within Akwa Ibom. Because in his words, when you do not educate the children of your neighbors, they become a danger to your children.
I believe that Akwa Ibom has done a whole lot and is ready for industrialization. Because for you to be able to to industrialize.
Thank you.
We need the basic infrastructure.
You're very generous.
Of roads, of an airport.
And hopefully the lights will stay on.
Seaport that is
and I'll be brief.
Coming up.
But this goes to show you need to have contingencies.
We are really ready for industrialization that will now create jobs for our teeming youth.
The physical infrastructure on ground, we talked about the roads, we talked about the power, we talked about the security, we talked about the empowerment in terms of education, preparing our people for greater challenges in terms of manpower in future. So Akwa Ibom State is ready, and we're asking the entire nation that come to Akwa Ibom State, come and do business in Akwa Ibom State, come and invest in Akwa Ibom State.
With all these both God-given and man-made advantages, the entire world is now being asked to come and take advantage of what we have to offer in terms of a very hospitable, a very profitable, a very conducive investment climate.
In Akwa Ibom State, you will find superior advantages that no other Nigerian state can offer you, your business and investment. The state enjoys a very clement tropical climate which combines beautifully with right political and social conditions to create a conducive environment for new investments. What else can we say other than Akwa Ibom is simply the place to be, an emerging economy, a land of limitless opportunities. Are you an investor? Please do visit Akwa Ibom today.